about that, Eric Dowdy?
Thank you very much.
So now that's the first time I've ever seen you do stand-up. Have you?
Yes, it's probably only the third time I've ever done stand-up.
Okay, Eric is a big part of Comedy Potluck. Is here very regularly with the improv troupe and is excellent at improv, but he has not done stand-up with us. So very happy to see that. So you're just getting started in stand-up now.
Well, it's one of those things where I grew up always wanting to do stand-up. I mean, Robin Williams is a big hero of mine, Billy Crystal, kind of those. I mean, my generation, growing up, I think the first comedy album I ever heard was Bill Cosby that he did, where he had the whole dentist routine and that whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
And when I heard that for the first time, I was like, it's amazing if you can just draw little points together and make people laugh. I think that's always been very inspiring.
Had you tried any stand-up prior?
I have. I've done a couple of open mics. I just think, for me, I'm very in the moment. Mm-hmm. So improv has always been a big draw for me.
Well, and you seem very natural with improv, everything that you do there. But you also act. You're in.
I've done a lot of community theater. I've done stuff with Theater Alliance here in town. I'm getting ready to do a show with Twin City Stage coming up the week of May 17th and May 23rd. We're doing Dearly Beloved there. Yeah. So it was one of those things. Like I said, I used to work at WXI TV, and when I got my evenings free, I started doing theater in 2001, and since then I've probably averaged 2 shows a year.
Okay. Well, you were still with them up until 3 years ago?
Yeah, 2010. I was there from July 31st, 1995 to like August 1st, 2010.
So you were doing some of both.
Yeah.
You got more in, but you started doing more improv then.
Yeah, my first improv was there's a group over in Greensboro called the Idiot Box that's over there in Greensboro, and they started in 2001. They had auditions, and I was one of the original members of the group over there. Yeah. And I was over there for a couple of years, and then got married and that sort of thing. So it was a little harder to get back and forth to Greensboro. Yeah.
So you, when you was the Bill Cosby album the very beginning of everything for you when you first heard that?
It was close, yeah.
You think back
like I
further?
said, Bill Cosby, Robin Williams. I forget when the first Robin Williams thing I heard. I remember, gosh, I think I might have been in the 5th or 6th grade when Eddie Murphy did his famous album that came out. Yeah. That I remember the guys in school talking about it. Yeah.
And the Robin Williams, the Mork and Mindy, did you see that?
I was a big fan of Jonathan Winters.
Yeah.
He was on that show.
Yeah.
Any of those guys what I always would stay up for and would lose sleep over is someone like Robin Williams or whoever being on the Tonight Show or wherever, because I just love that spontaneity.
Yeah.
And their cleverness and being able to. There's this spot where one time Robin Williams came out and he was on the Tonight Show and he was wearing this suit that was all different types of patterns, and he made this comment of, "I bet you the guys in the back are just going wild over this outfit," and I could relate to that because he was making a joke about the engineers. Because his thing, if anybody knows anything about television, you have to wear certain clothes for television. Yeah. He was wearing what you shouldn't wear.
All of them.
And he was making a joke to the guys backstage. And I got that, and I knew what he was talking about. And it's those little things. It's the little jokes that maybe not everybody picks up on.
And a lot of that comes out in improv, too.
Yeah, and if there's one or two people that catch it, that know what you're doing and laugh about it, I don't have to do anything else funny the rest of the night because I knew I got that one person.
Yeah. So how did you get hooked up with the improv group here with Comedy Potluck?
It was one of those things where I think I was at a downtown Winston-Salem 500 mingle. I don't know if they still even do those.
Oh, yeah.
But somebody mentioned something about you starting this here. Yeah. And I had this idea about trying to do kind of a variety type show. Yeah. And then next thing I know, you had sent something out, and Sarah Barnhart and JJ and all the different people were talking about doing some comedian type stuff, and we all met in that little room over there, and it all just kind of spiraled from that.
Yeah, so it's been really developed over the past two and a half years, and really become a really good show. Yeah. Yeah. So you got plans for going forward here, expanding on improv? I mean, on stand up?
Well, I think the thing I'm best at is improv. I know I try and get here as early as I can if we're doing an improv show, because JJ and Alex, who are out there in the audience, these guys are stand-up guys, and every time I listen to them, I'm thinking, okay, you try and absorb, and you try and learn, and figure out, okay, well that makes people laugh.
Yeah.
And I am kind of a writer at heart.
Yeah.
So I'll try and work out it. And every once in a while, something will be going on in the daily news, and I'll think, all right, well, that'll be a good joke.
Yeah.
Let's file that away.
Do you do any sketch writing? You put together scenes?
I do. I'm working on a couple of different screenplays right now. Most of them are of a comedic nature, but a lot of it has to do. I mean, our restaurant manage a restaurant now called the Screaming Rooster. I'm working on a screenplay right now that kind of evolves around that. I've also worked on stuff that evolves around one of my favorite drinking holes, which is Recreation Billiards right across the street. So there's a lot of different things that I'm always trying to do stuff on.
We're looking forward to that, and you do excellent work here. Just hilarious improv. It never lets you down. He's one of the funniest.
Well,
in improv,
thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, you don't know how much this guy has contributed to just the arts of Winston-Salem.
Yeah, it's all a joy. We appreciate it.
I mean, we couldn't do what we want to do if it wasn't for Jim, because he's been very open from the very beginning, and we've done shows where we've had 3 people out there, and we've done shows where we've had 70 people out there.
Yeah. Well, it's been good. Well, it's a community effort, and that's what this is all about. So we appreciate you being a part of it, what we're doing, and being a part of this tonight. And give a hand for Eric Dowdy.
Thank you.